Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for today's at-home Pilates plus strength training upper body workout. So in today's workout, we are going to be doing the first half on our mats without any weight, and then we're going to be moving into a weighted portion of the workout. For the weighted portion, I'm going to be using various dumbbells at various weights. I've got heaviest is 10 pound, lightest is 3 pound. I've also got 5 pound and 8 pound weights. You can use whatever weights you have available to you. You can go heavier, you can go lighter, depending on your level of strength. Just make sure that as you work through the exercises that you feel challenged, but also that you are moving with good form and control. So with that in mind, let's jump into our warm-up. We're going to start down on the mat in a kneeling position. I'm going to turn facing the end of my mat. I'm going to reach up tall through those hands and circle the right arm back, and then come up and reach back with that left arm and come up. So alternating sides, reaching back, mobilizing the shoulders. Good. Arms come forward and then we pull back. You can look out over the shoulder if that feels comfortable for your neck. So you get a nice neck stretch in as well. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as you pull back. Nice work for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Arms come up, sitting up really nice and tall. Now we're going to pull those elbows down into the sides of the body. So reach up, lengthening, and pull down. Good. Inhale up, exhale to pull down. So really grow taller through the crown of the head as you pull those elbows down. Start to switch on those upper back muscles, giving this movement a lot of energy. Abs are engaged. And we've got 4, 3, pull it down, for 2, and final 1. Nice work. Plant your hands down on the mat. From here, I'd like you to curl your toes. We're gonna lift up and stretch, coming into a downward dog. Lift those hips up nice and tall. Flatten out the upper back. From here, we're gonna come forward into a plank and hold. Wrists below the shoulders, and then shoot back into our downward dog. So come forward, power up through the shoulders, pushing the mat away, core engages, and then lift up toward the ceiling with those hips. Come forward, nice flat line with the body, and elevate the hips. Nicely done. Inhale, come forward, lift abdominal wall. Exhale, scoop belly in. Good. Mobilizing the shoulders, switching on the core. For 3, and 2, and final 1. Lift those hips and lower into a kneeling position. Now from here, wrists are below the shoulders, knees are below the hips. We're going to stretch the right arm out, keeping the shoulders level, and then shift that arm around, reaching through the fingertips, come back and lower down. Lift, sweep the arm back, keeping it at torso height, come up and lower. Lift. Nice long straight arm. Keep those shoulders level as you reach around behind you. Good. Keeping the torso still and stable. Working into different parts of the shoulder here to warm up and lubricate the joint. Good. We've got 4. And lower. 3. And lower. Last 2. And final 1. Nice work. Lower down. Now from here, I'm going to come over to the other side so I've got space. Wrists are below the shoulders, knees below the hips. Lift up with that left arm. Level out the shoulders and reach back. Come forward, lower, lift, reach back. Mobilizing that shoulder joint. Reaching through those fingers. Gaze stays down on the mat. Good work. Last 3. Keep that arm level with the torso for 2. And final 1. And relax it down. Nice work. Now we're going to focus on our shoulders a little bit more by protracting the shoulders, gently pushing the mat away, separating the shoulder blades, and then we're going to retract the shoulders, knitting them in close, keeping the arms straight, drawing the shoulder blades together. So we're protracting the shoulder blades, push the mat away, and then retracting the shoulder blades, letting them come close together. Push the mat away, creating space and broadening across the shoulders, and then sink. Good. Inhale, retract the shoulder blades. Exhale, protract the shoulder blades. Keeping the neck in line with the spine, so not letting the head drop here as you move between the 2 positions with the shoulders. Warming up the upper back muscles here. Good. For 2, maintain a gentle bend in those elbows. And last 1. Good work. Now that we're nicely warmed up in the upper body, we're going to start to get into our weightless work. So from this position, the wrists below the shoulders, the knees below the hips, we're going to go into some shin lifts. So gently protracting the shoulder blades. We're going to ensure the toes are curled, abs are engaged, and we're going to lift the knees so the shins are parallel with the mat, holding strong here. Nice flat back. Weight is in the heels of the hands and in the balls of those feet. For 4, for 3, lift abdominal wall. For 2, and 1, lower down. Good work. Now we're going to come up and we're going to hold for a little longer. Breathing in through the nose to prepare. And as we exhale, we're lifting up. Lift abdominal wall. Broaden across those shoulders. Hold for 8, for 7, for 6, 5, abs in, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. Now I'd like you to walk to the top of your mat so you've got a little bit more space behind you. From here, we're going to lift up into our shin lift. So we're coming up like so. We're going to step the right leg back, step the left leg back, step the right leg back to the starting point, left leg in, tap the knees down to the mat, and repeat. So hovering the knees, creating that nice flat line with the back, stepping into plank, stepping back to the starting position, holding, and then tapping the knees down. Good. Lift, step it out. Keep those shoulders right above the wrists. Good. And we're not stepping the knees in past the hips. So you want those knees right below the hips before lowering the knees down to the mat. Good work. Abs are engaged, powering up through those shoulders. Good work. In, and lower. Nicely done. Really good control. Keeping that core engaged. In, and lower. Last set. Out, in, and hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Widen the knees and sink back into your child's pose. Stretching and lengthening through those arms. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Amazing. From here, we're going to go into a series of push-ups. So the first set of push-ups we're going to do, we're having nice wide elbows. So we're going to work into the chest here. So the palms are pressing down onto the mat, fingers are spread, knees are below the hips. We're going to lower and then push up. Lower the chest toward the mat and push up. So keep your neck in line with your spine here. Core is engaged. We're lowering and then pushing up, straightening the arms. Lower and lift. Good work. Lower and lift. For 5 and 4. Nice wide elbows. For 3 and 2, and final 1. Amazing. Now I'd like you to take your knees nice and wide, big toes come together. We're gonna bring the hands so that the fingers are pointing forwards. We want our wrist, elbow, and shoulder in alignment. From here, we're gonna sink back into our child's pose. Then we're gonna come forward, lower the chest between the hands, elbows stay close and toward the side of the body, and then push the mat away, coming back into your child's pose. So you're lowering, pushing up through the heels of the hands, focusing that attention on the triceps here as you lift and push back. Lower, push up and away. Good. Lower the chest, push the mat away, and sink back onto those heels. Good. So graze the side of your body with those elbows, really focusing on the triceps as you push up through the heels of the hands. Amazing work. And last one, lower and push up and away. Hold for a moment in child's pose. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nice work. Now, from here, we're coming back into our all fours position. We're gonna walk the hands just out a little bit in front of the shoulders, keeping those wrists, elbows, and shoulders in alignment. We're gonna lower the forearms down so the elbows are hovering above the mat, and then push up through the heels of the hands. Lower and push up. Try to keep the arms parallel here. You don't want the elbows splaying out to the sides of the body. Weight is in the heels of the hands as we lower and lift. Lower and lift with control. Nice work. Keeping the tension on the backs of those arms, focusing on those triceps, doing the work. Abs are engaged. Gaze is down on the floor. We've got 6, 5, 4, you can do it, for 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. From here, curl your toes, push your hips up toward the ceiling, and stretch it out in your downward dog. Breathing in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Head hangs heavy between the shoulders for 3, and 2, and 1, lowering down. Now from here, we're going to focus on the triceps a little bit more. We're gonna go into some tricep dips with reverse tabletop. So bring your hands behind you, fingertips pointing toward the end of the mat. Now try not to let your elbows splay out to the side here. You wanna be keeping your elbows pulled back behind you. We're going to elevate up into a reverse tabletop and then lower. Just hover the bum and then push up through the heels of the hands. As you do so, plug belly in. Lower the bum, just hover and push up through the heels of the hands. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Now for extra added benefit here, I want you to really squeeze and lift through the bum and engage the core. Good, as you support yourself using that upper body strength. For 2, and final 1, we're gonna come up and hold in that reverse tabletop. We're gonna lower into a tricep dip and lift. Lower and lift. Keeping the tension on those triceps. Lowering with control and pushing up through the heels of the hands. Abs are switched on here. Chest is nice and open. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift it up and lower your bum down to the mat. Lift your arms up and fold over the lower body, stretching and lengthening through the spine. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Now from here, we're going to get into some plank work. So we're going to lower the hands down to the mat Wrists are below the shoulders, knees are below the hips to start off with. I'm going to step my right leg back, step my left leg back, coming into a nice, strong, high plank. From here, we're gonna tap the right fingertips toward the left shoulder, left fingertips onto the right shoulder, and then we're gonna tap the knees down to the mat, lift abdominal wall, nice flat line with the body for 2. Tap, tap, knee taps for 2. Good. Tap, tap. Lower the knees, lift the abdominal wall. Lower the knees, lift the abdominal wall. Working the abs as well as the arms. 1, 2, together for those 2 taps. Nice work. 1, 2, keep those shoulders nice and broad. Abs are lifted. Powering up through those shoulders. 1, 2, 1, 2. Last set. 1, 2, lower, lift, lower, lift, and push up into your downward dog. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. For 3 and 2 and 1. Lower knees down to the mat. And now we're gonna come down onto our stomachs. Use your hands to help you to lower with control. Stretch your legs out long, about mat distance apart. We're going to stretch the arms out in front. Gaze is down on the mat. We're gonna inhale here, and as we exhale, we're gonna pull back, contracting those shoulder blades together. Keep the chest elevated and pull back. Extend through the arms and pull back. Gently squeeze your bum, lift your chest. Gaze is down on the floor. Good, keep breathing. Inhale to extend through the arms, exhale to knit those shoulder blades together. Good. Strengthening your upper back muscles as you do so, lifting up a little bit higher through the chest as you pull elbows back. Let's do 4, 3, 2, lift a bit higher, and last 1. Lower the hands down onto the floor on either side of the shoulders. From here, we're gonna come up, hover, and lower. Lift and hover, contract your shoulder blades together and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Bring it up and lower it down. We've got 3. Lift your chest a bit higher. Pull those shoulders down and back. 3, 2, and 1. Come up. We're going to extend the arms out long. Behind, palms are facing down. Lower and lift and pull back with those fingers. Lower, tap the hands down and lift. Stretching and lengthening through those arms. Good. Try to sort of squeeze the upper back muscles together as you lift. Reaching toward the wall behind you with those fingers as you pull those shoulder blades back and lift the chest up off the mat. Nice work. We've got 5 and 4. Lift a bit higher for 3 and 2 and final 1. Lift it up. Bring your hands by your sides. Lift up. Take your knees nice and wide and just sink back into child's pose. Breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. For 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, from here we're going to come up and move over onto the side body to prepare for some one-arm push-ups. So lay down comfortably on your side. We want the neck and the spine in alignment. I'm going to fold the lower arm just around the torso and the top hand comes down in line with the shoulder. From here, we're gonna inhale. And as we exhale, we're gonna push the mat away, lifting the upper body up off the mat, keeping the lower body down on the floor, pushing up through the heel of the hand. Good. So really putting the weight into the heel of the hand as we straighten that arm, working the back of the arm, working the triceps. Good. Working into the chest muscles. We've got 4 and 3, nice long neck. For 2, power up. Last 1 and lower down with control. Amazing. Let's do the other side. So stretching out nice and long, folding the lower arm around the torso, lining up that hand with the shoulder, nice long neck, and then pushing the mat away, coming into your 1 arm push up, lift and lower. Try not to just let your upper body drop down to the mat. You want to ease back down, keeping the tension on the back of the arm. I really feel this into the chest muscles too. Good. And we can work into the core as well, into the waistline by remembering to engage belly to spine as we lift and lower. Good work. We've got 4 and 3. Push up through the heel of that hand for 2. Nice work. And final 1, lower down with control. From here, we're going back into our plank, but this time we're going to come down into a low plank position. You can either have your arms parallel or you can interlace your fingers. We want our elbows below our shoulders. We're going to step back into our low plank and we're just going to hold it here. Holding, creating a nice flat line with the body, powering up through those shoulders, lifting the abdominal wall. Holding. Good work. Now, you can either hold in a static plank like so, or you can start shifting forwards and backwards. So pointing through those toes and then flexing through the heels, keeping those shoulders nice and broad by pushing the mat away up through those elbows. Good. Try not to let the bum lift here. Breathe through it. We've got 6, 5, 4, last 3, you've got this, 2, and final 1, lower down. Bring your knees down onto the mat. From here, we're going to position the hands down on the mat. We're going to come into our high plank and we're going to finish off this weightless work really strong. So pushing the mat away, we're going to bring right knee in toward the chest and step back, left knee in toward the chest and step back. Maintaining that flat line with the body, maintaining those nice broad shoulders. Getting some core work in here as well. Good. Now we're going to pick up the pace for the final 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Hold in plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop knees and sink back into a very well-deserved child's pose. Breathing in through the nose, drawing the armpits down to the mat and out through the mouth. For 3, and 2, and 1. Let's bring ourselves up and just circle out those arms. Circling them back behind you, opening through the chest and regulating the breath. For 3, and 2, and last 1. And you can turn to face me on the mat. Amazing work. Okay, so we're now going to move into the weighted portion of our workout. I'm going to be kneeling for these exercises, but standing is a really good option. If you are standing, you want to make sure that your feet are hip distance apart, your feet are evenly weighted, moving up through the body, whether you're kneeling or standing. You want your core engaged, your spine is in neutral, your chest is nice and open, shoulders are down away from the ears. The chin is parallel with the floor and the crown of the head is elevated. So your posture really matters when you're working your upper body, and I will be reminding you of those checkpoints as we go. I'm going to take hold of my lightest set of hand weights. These are my 3-pound hand weights. And we're going to begin by lifting and lowering the arms to the side of the body. So lifting and lowering. So you can take the arms a little bit wider or a little bit higher rather than shoulder height. You want the arms straight out to the sides. Good. Lifting and lowering with control. So I want you to really use resistance on your way down as well as on your way up. Core is engaged. I'm going to inhale to lift and exhale belly to spine as I bring those arms down. Pushing down against the weight. The arms are straight. Neck is nice and long. Good. Really firing up the shoulders now. Lifting and lowering. Lift and lower. Good work. Let's go 5, 4. Keep that chin parallel with the floor for 3. Abs are engaged. 2. And final 1, amazing. Now I'm going to bring the arms to the front. If you're standing or if you're kneeling, the weight is down on the thighs and the palms are facing toward the thighs. We're going to lift the weight overhead and then lower. Lift and lower. Good, so again, really lifting and lowering with control. So lift, inhale, exhale to lower. And I want you to plug your navel in towards your spine as you lower to try to counter the movement of the weight. So you don't want to be sort of swaying in the torso as you come up and down. You want to keep that torso really still and stable, keep that core strong. Moving into working the chest here. The shoulders are still engaged. Arms are nice and straight. Good work. Inhale to lift. Exhale, belly to spine to lower. Good. Working that core engagement. Working those arms. Nice work. We've got 3, 2, nice control. Last 1 and lower. Place the weights down for a moment. Just give your shoulders a little bit of a roll. Nice work. Okay, now we're going to draw some circles in the air. So arms are straight out, neck is long. We're going to circle forward. Small circles. Small circles. Circling around in the shoulder. 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, hold, reverse, circle backwards, 8, 7, keep those arms elevated, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, lower down. Whew, those burn. Okay, I'm going to switch my weights off now. I'm going to grab a heavier weight, my 5-pound dumbbells. And I'm aware that not everybody has different weights to choose from. So I'll talk you through some options as we get started with these bicep curls. So palms are facing out now. Upper arms are locked in toward the side of the body. Chest is nice and open. Shoulders are down. Long neck. Keeping those elbows locked in toward the side of the body. We're bringing the fists toward the shoulders and then lowering with control. So lifting, contracting the biceps and keeping that tension on the biceps as you lower the arms down to the sides. So like I said, if you haven't got heavier weights, you might still be using a lighter weight. You could increase the speed to get more reps in to make it more challenging. And if you're using a heavier weight, you can always slow it down. So work with what you've got. Good. Lift and lower. bicep curl and lower down. So I'm not letting the arms completely straighten at the bottom. I'm keeping a gentle bend in the elbow, which helps me to maintain that tension on the biceps throughout the entire range of movement. Good, keep that chin parallel with the floor. We've got 3, and 2, and final 1, and relax it down. You can cross your arms, kind of work out some of the tension, have a little breather before we go into our next exercise. 2, and 1. Nice work. Okay, so now we're doing a variation of a bicep curl. So I'd like you to turn your palms so that they're facing forward. We're gonna bring the arms up toward the sides, the shoulders, lower, so you're coming out laterally, and then we're gonna bring the arms overhead, tap the dumbbells together, and lower. Lock the upper arms in toward the side of the body, open and lower. Lift the arms overhead and lower slowly with control. Bring the fists to the shoulders. Come up and lower down. Nice, keep that chest nice and open. Working into the chest here, the shoulders and the biceps. It's a really beneficial move here. We're getting a lot out of it. Keep your core engaged. Crown of the head elevating up toward the ceiling. And moving with control. Again, if you're using lighter weights, maybe you're picking up the pace while maintaining that form. Good. And if you've got really heavy weights, slow, keep it slow and really focus on moving with control. Good. And up and over. Good. 3 more. Woo, it's burning. Lift, struggling here, but it's good. Nice work. Last one. Breathe through it. We've got this. And come up. Ooh, and lower down. Nice work. Okay. From here, I'm going to take hold of my heaviest weights, my 10-pound weights, and we're going to go into some shoulder presses. Roll your shoulders to begin with. Take a little breather and then pick that weight up. So I'm holding the weight in front of the chin. The arms are parallel here. I'm going to bring the right arm up, lower, bring the left arm up, lower to that starting point. So we're switching sides, moving from one side to the other. Good, really pushing up, working into that shoulder, lifting with energy. Again, I've said it before, but we're lowering with control, so we're never kind of just letting that arm drop down between the reps. We're moving with purpose, moving with control. Good. Push up and lower. Now we're going to switch that up a little bit. So we're going to go 1, 2, and together both weights come up and we lower down. 1, 2, together, whoo, shoulders. 1, 2, and together. 2 more sets. It's tough with this heavier weight, that's for sure. And together. Last set. 1. Really sweating now. 2. And together. Woo. Lower with control. Nicely done. Now, I only need 1 weight for this next move. I'm going to use my 10-pound single dumbbell, but if you have lighter weights, you might want to hold 2 together for this exercise. So tricep extensions, it's one of my favorite exercises for sculpting the backs of the arms. So bring your upper arms in close toward the side of your head. We're going to try to keep those upper arms straight up and down as we hinge from the elbows and bring that weight overhead. So I want you to really switch your focus onto those triceps now, doing the work to elevate that weight up. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now this is one where sometimes we have a tendency to let our heads come forward. We want to keep the head resting on top of the shoulders, keeping the neck in line with the spine, not letting the head come forward, because that can be really strenuous on the neck. Good, keep those elbows in close toward the side of the head. Keep them out, the upper arms still and stationary. And push up using those triceps. We've got 5, 4, you can do it. 3, 2, last 1, and relax it down. Okay, I don't need those heavier weights anymore. I'm going to take a hold of my 8-pound weights. Take a couple of deep breaths, realign the spine, make sure everything's nice and level. I'm going to take a hold of the weights and hold them so the palms are facing forward. Now we don't want the weights forward, we want them right in line with the sides of the body. We're gonna lift and lower. So not a full extension, you're maintaining a little bit of a bend as you lift those arms up. It's almost like a pulse. Good. Getting deep into those shoulders. You can feel it in the chest as well. Extend up and lower. Maintaining that bend in the elbows, keeping that chest nice and open. We've got 6, 5, engaged core, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Okay. Back to the smaller weights for the final few exercises. These are all tricep focused. I am going to stay kneeling, but if you are stood, well, if you're stood or if you're kneeling, these checkpoints matter. So if you're stood, you've got your legs hip distance apart. Otherwise, if you're kneeling, we want to ensure that our core is engaged and we're hinging from the hips. So we're creating a nice flat back. From here, we're going to bring the arms in close toward the side of the body. Gaze is down on the mat just ahead, and we're gonna lift and lower. Lift, hold for a split second and lower. Lift, engage those triceps and lower. Lift, squeeze the triceps. Try not to let your arms splay out to the sides. You wanna keep them in close toward the side of the body, working into those upper back muscles as well here. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears. We've got 5, 4, squeeze and engage those triceps for 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Nice work. Roll out any tension. Great. Now from here, we're going to go into some circles. So again, hinging from the hip, nice flat back, holding the weights and circling inwards. Drawing circles, keeping those arms elevated. Neck is in line with the spine, core is engaged, squeezing those arms in toward each other for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew, really shaking with those. Okay, last 2 exercises. So we're hinging forward, bringing it up, bringing those elbows in close toward the side of the body, extending and bending, extending and bending. 8, 7, keep those elbows elevated. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it there. We're going to pulse up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, release. Amazing work. Okay, now it is time for our cool down and stretch. I'd like you to take your knees nice and wide to begin with and just sink back into a child's pose, just keeping it simple to start off with. And really stretching the spine here, relaxing those arms, stretching out the shoulders, melt your forehead down onto the mat, and just regulate the breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself up. I'm going to sit with my legs crossed. You can be standing or kneeling. I'm just going to draw some nice big circles in the air. Reaching through those fingers. Opening through the chest. For 3, and 2, and 1. Nice work. Now from here, I'm going to take the right arm across the chest and just stretch out that shoulder. Just applying a little bit of pressure to the back of the arm with that left hand. Standing or sitting up nice and tall here. Neck is long. Breathing deeply in through the nose. Apply a little bit more pressure if that feels good. And out through the mouth. Switch sides. Bring that left arm across the chest. Stretching out all the tension that built up in those shoulders. Applying a little bit more pressure to deepen the stretch. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. Take your right arm overhead, bend at the elbow, and just use your left hand to gently pull back on the elbow to stretch the back of the arm, letting your right fingertips just trail down the middle of your back. Again, try not to create pressure on the neck by letting your head come too far forward here. Keep it resting on top of the shoulders for 3, and 2, and 1. Switching sides. Sitting up nice and tall. Gently pulling back on that elbow to deepen the stretch. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, I'm just going to bring one foot in toward the inner thigh, and I'm just going to stretch out the side body here. So I'm going to fold over the leg, feeling the stretch running up the back of the leg as well as into the side body. Reach through those fingers, so reach toward the toes. Try to keep your both hips evenly weighted down on the mat. For 3, and 2, and 1. Elevate up, switching sides. Sit up nice and tall, and then fold over, keeping those hips evenly weighted, feeling the stretch all the way through the side body. Reach through those fingers, stretching into the shoulder here as well. Reach a bit further for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself to a seated position, or maybe if you're stood up, make sure that you're nice and tall through your posture. We're going to lift our shoulders up by our ears and round them down and back. lift and melt away tension. Let's do 4 more. Really exaggerate this movement, lift those shoulders right up by the ears and then sink them down and back. Last one. Melting away all of the tension. Amazing work. Well done for making it through that series of exercises. It was super challenging, but we targeted all those upper back and upper body muscles really well. So you should feel proud of yourself. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to moving again with you next time.